If you guys could see what my drawing setup looks like right now, you'd fucking laugh. Anyway, I'm just kind of like drawing and listening to a podcast and shit, and I don't have like a good setup or anything, but maybe it'd be interesting. I don't know. I just kind of like feel, at least tonight, like putting up random shit. So I don't really. Yeah. Let me find something to listen to first. I'm listening to Modest Mouse. Not that you will be able to hear it, but. Specifically, Modest Mouse, Bury Me With It. Yeah. Uh, Pardon me if I'm kind of meandering. I'm mostly just like. I just smoke, so. I'm trying to like find my right tools. I was trying to find a shittier. Uh, yeah, I'm not gonna get a good shot with this setup. Fuck it. I was just trying to find a shittier, blunter tip for my brush pen to, fill in these bigger white areas for the eyelashes of this new icon I'm working for myself online. Um, because I don't want to use one that has like a brand new super sharp tip, because that's how I get these really, really fine lines. So I don't want to like blunt it and wear it out before, because I'm poor as shit. I can't afford to get more $3 pens on jet pens on short notice, especially considering how fucked up the post office is lately. I guess I'm gonna post this to my, oh, if you want to, go along with my vibe, so to speak, go ahead and find Modest Mouse Good News for People Who Love Bad News full album on YouTube, and just put on the whole album and vibe with me if you like. Um, I'm on, I think, Bury You With Me right now? Yeah. Wait, no. God, which one am I on? Dance Hall. Okay. I'm on Dance Hall, so just put it on real low and pretend it's 3 a.m. or so, and you're just like, fuck it, I'm gonna draw an onion crying, because it's cut and its own vapors are causing it to have a sulfur reaction. I don't know if I'll end up doing more of this. I have the tendency to lose interest very quickly in most things, and I lack any desire whatsoever to be marketable, so um, I probably won't try to, like, build a channel on purpose. I'm just gonna be one of those weirdos that posts occasionally. And if you like those, come hang out. Pardon if the volume turns out to be super loud or whatever, and my, like, medium voice is just like blah right in your ear, because I have like a pathetic setup where my camera is being held with like painter's tape up against my shelves and looking down on me because I have no other means of projecting images onto my computer. I have a phone, but I don't want to tape my phone up there. I mean, I guess I could just lay it on the shelf. I'm not going to think about it. I'm doing it the hard way. Shut up. Wait to digitize it. I do really dig the song Bukowski by these guys. I'm not like a huge music buff or anything. I just kind of like things and listen to what I like. But I've been trying to get more back into appreciating music lately, because I think for a while I just kind of, strange as it sounds, forgot how to do that. Beyond just like finding a random song I like the sound of. When I was a kid, I used to be very into getting CDs and reading liner notes and that kind of stuff. But as I got older and I stopped buying CDs because I'm perpetually living in poverty, and you can just, you know, go on YouTube and watch one of their videos if that's how you want to listen to music. Like, I don't think I even have any of my CDs that I bought in the past. Like, I gave them their money. uh, which is how I justify this kind of thing. But, I mean, I don't have the money for any kind of subscribe service, so I just kind of try to watch the official stuff and give them ad revenue when I remember to turn off my ad blocker and that kind of stuff. But I was very into this band when I was about 14, as I was a very weird and melancholic child. And I really like the song Float On, which is like one of the only really truly optimistic songs on that channel. Pretty much every song in this album is kind of a bummer, if we're being honest. But I like it anyway. Let's see. This looks so good on the camera. At least it does on my computer. It's probably gonna look like shit when it's finally uploaded. It's like nice and crisp looking over there. Fuck. This is the sound of me realizing I was inking with the blunt one, but it's fine because, you know, I like how it looks. I really just want these fine, fine, fine lines for stuff like the eyelashes and the detail around the eye and, you know, that kind of stuff, the initial strokes, and then gradually going over it again and making some of the lines thicker to add more depth. I'm not really like a learned artist. I go more with my intuition. I know it's not like methodologically sound, but I have really severe ADHD, and I honestly have a really hard time just finding the will to sit down and study when I live in a very disorganized environment and I don't have any kind of medication. So instead of just living with constant frustration about the fact that, like, you know, I'm not good enough, I don't know how to, you know, study XYZ technique, so I'm just kind of like a fucked up amalgamation of stuff rather than maybe necessarily having real, like a basis, like a strong foundational basis to what I do. I just kind of like it's either be fucked up about it and never create, or just accept it and let myself draw. And I'm trying to reach a point where I just accept it and let myself draw. Not as I like say like a rigorous method, I suppose. It's more intuitive the way I do things. But whatever, I'm vibing. Bang, 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 bang. I do love the opening uh, guitar riff in um, The View. It's weirdly disco-y, and I dig disco, I've discovered. So I should not try to sing along. I have like a chronic inability to actually remember any lyrics. Like, if I'm not, like, reading them in front of me, I can't fucking remember that shit. Doesn't matter how many times I've listened to the song, doesn't matter how many times. Because I'm just not, like, an auditory processing person, for the most part. I'm really much more of a visual learner, and having the ability to, you know, break down certain concepts. Like, I can look at, like, a picture of a cow, but no matter how long I stare at that cow or how many diagrams I look up, I can't understand what I'm processing if it's not, like, there in front of me, if I'm not watching the animal move and I'm not seeing it, like, in much more detail. I don't know what it is about it exactly, but I just have processing issues in that way. I kind of didn't realize I had that issue for a long time. I thought I was just, like, stupid or something. But, no, it's just brains. Brains are weird. We're all just piloted by weird electrified jelly, and sometimes it's worthwhile to learn how you process and how you think instead of beating yourself up for not living up to whatever ideal. Like, for a long time I really felt like shit because, you know, I'm not the sort of person that can easily, constantly generate content, and I was unsure if, like, things like, why do I want to post things online? Why do I even want to communicate with other people? Why do I want to, you know, put my art online? What do I dream of when I think about that? Why do I want, you know, to be seen? Why do I want to be perceived, and how? And it was a bit paralyzing for a long time because I kind of lost sight of why I create to begin with. I got too focused, I think, on trying to be skillful or perceived as skillful. I got wrapped up in that. Make bliss life, pretty bliss. Modest Mouse, the lyrics are very dark, and nihilistic, but that's definitely a point of view I feel sometimes. Like, I'm a contrarian by nature, uh, and so if somebody makes any kind of absolute statement, I will often refute it, and I try my hardest to look on the bright side or maintain hope and that kind of stuff. But I also believe that it's genuinely important at times to admit that you are unhappy or that things are bad, and that maybe the way things are set up are, like, this is, like, surmountable by yourself. Like, for instance, just as an example, I am a person that has struggled with mental health issues very much ever since I was in my, like, early to mid-teens. Except I didn't really understand what was wrong with myself because I didn't really have any kind of education. I just thought I was oversensitive, and I had very strong emotional reactions to things around me. I was bullied a lot, and I was very depressed, and I felt very trapped, and I found myself not being able to cope with things like schoolwork and, you know, these things that I thought about myself, like, you know, if I can't get good grades, I'm not intelligent. If I'm not intelligent or if I'm not good at art, then I don't have worth. Why can't I get better? Why can't I get over a few feelings of jealousy and inferiority and all that kind of thing? And I don't have an easy answer to that beyond, I think at that time when I was in high school, and even when I was younger, I had a very strong sense of the idea that as I got older, I was going to have to pick a career and find a way to survive in the adult world. And some part of me, I think, understood inherently that I am not capable of living in that rigid of a society that we currently have. I I do poorly in certain structured environments. Like, obviously, most people end up in retail jobs, and like some people, like, it's a shitty job, but they can handle it, like, because they know they have to eat. I just break down. I can't do it. Uh, it's just too much for me, no matter if I know I'm in the right, no matter if I know, like, a person is manipulating me because I'm in a weaker position than they are, that kind of thing. I can't cope with that. And additionally, I just have trouble with certain things, like, you know, keeping my house clean, being able to wake up on time. I have no sense of sleep schedule. I'm, like, definitely, um, what do they fucking call it? There's, like, certain people that have fucked up circadian rhythms. Literally, since I was a child, I have had trouble going to sleep. I've had chronic nightmares. I used to, like, run up and down the halls at night because I couldn't sleep. Um, and those troubles run in my family. I have, like, there's definitely people who just, like, you cannot have, like, scientifically, this has been researched. Uh, like, it's like delayed sleep phase disorder. Like, they just cannot maintain a 9 to 5 schedule indefinitely. Like, I can do it for a week, and then gradually my sleep schedule fucks up again, and I can't go back to sleep. I can take sleeping pills, but they don't always knock me out. Like, that sounds crazy, but, like, and you gotta be careful with some sleep meds, because you can only take so much, you know? So, if you take a pill and you hit that drowsiness point, but you can't quite drop off, like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna keep taking sleeping pills? It's not exactly safe. Besides that, they're narcotics, and I don't have insurance, so, like, and they're, like, a controlled substance or whatever the fucky, and I can't probably even get them, like, if I wanted to. So, it's not necessarily, so obviously it would make it very difficult to be employed, because you gotta come into work at a certain time. Over time, as I've learned to have more empathy for myself and I've identified what my issues are, things like ADHD, learning how that, you know, rejection sensitive dysphoria, how like, it's not just me. Yes, my emotions are significantly heightened from how people normally are, and I do have to take a few minutes and stop and really go over with myself and rationalize why my feelings shouldn't be hurt, and I have to learn how to talk it out. And it just takes you a very, very long time to learn those skills required to communicate these concepts, and to learn to be forgiving both for yourself, because obviously there's a lot of internalized shame and stigma when you can't fit in, because obviously I thought it was a me problem, and I didn't realize that, like, a whole lot of people like me exist, and we don't get through the system okay. Like, there's a lot of kids that were left behind by No Child Left Behind. I wasn't done any favors by sticking me in double period anchor math classes. And I wasn't done any favors by telling me, like, if my GPA doesn't get to a certain point, I'm not going to get into school. And if I can't get into school, because I don't have a scholarship or whatever for having great grades, then I'm not going to have a future. When you feel like that when you're a young teen, it fucking destroys you. Like, I struggled a lot with suicidal ideation back in those days. For those reasons, I was being forced, like, just to learn, like, what the fuck was wrong with me. Because obviously back in those days, like, how does a teen get access to information about ADHD when that research isn't even, like, necessarily believed to begin with? Like, how do you learn about these concepts? Those books didn't exist. They didn't exist within my immediate vicinity. I wasn't aware of them. I wouldn't have thought to look for them because I didn't realize I had a problem to begin with. That kind of stuff. It's just that over time you realize that, like, every generation of people, you kind of have to reinvent the wheel a little bit. It doesn't matter how much wisdom you get from your forebears, you're only going to pick up so much of it, and you're only going to necessarily pass on a certain amount of it. So mostly making sure that information is available and being able to communicate it and teaching other people communication skills is what ultimately helps improve things, I think. Which is why I think we see the Gen Z and the millennials, which I guess I'm a millennial. The millennials, I was born in 91. Like, they're so on top of it. Like, millennials were the ones that were the ones beginning to share these things as they started going to college, they started learning stuff, they started reading books, having mental breakdowns, whatever. They started putting that shit online and talking to each other in, you know, Reddit posts or Tumblr posts talking about mental illness, stuff they learned in college, from their therapists, whatever. Like, they started sharing online. And then you get these people who are like, okay, we're starting to have a better community where people are starting to learn about this shit. And then you have people who are from the get-go immersed in it. And so they have an easier time grasping it. So obviously there's like a lot of tension between generations, which is just like eternal. You're never going to not have that happen because it's just, again, it happens again and again. People are cyclical. Where people are like, you had all this information, why didn't you learn about it? Because it's fucking very hard to overcome your upbringing. It's hard to overcome those things. And some people never overcome them. They never have the opportunity. They never meet the right people. They never reach out. They never have that. Which is why I think it's very important to have a certain degree of empathy for people that don't get it. Because some of them, you know, not everybody learns. That being said, don't put up with any bullshit. If somebody's a fucking fash or whatever, they want to hurt you, don't stand there trying to explain to them why they're wrong. You're only going to end up with a knife in your chest. But if somebody asks you a question, it's worthwhile to learn who's asking you in good faith and who isn't. It feels pretty good to be able to do videos like this. I feel more eloquent and able to express myself in some ways in vocal. I think, you know, you get an impression of somebody and how they act and how they feel via text, and then you talk to them, and they are nothing like how they seem online. I've met plenty of people who I thought were dipshits online, like who do weird, like, emojis, glomps, whatever. Like, they're just that generation of people online, and you're like, what the fuck is wrong with this person? Like, why are they leaving, like, yeah, like, meows, giggles, whatever, in my fucking chat? And then you meet them in real life, and they're totally normal. Like, they're just, like, a weeb or whatever. And you're like, oh, okay, they're chill. They're the sort of piece of, you know, they're like, oh, hey, how you doing? You having a good time at the, you know, convention center? This is based on a true story. If you aren't, you know, it's worthwhile not to be too judgy. And, recognize that tone doesn't always come across, or intention doesn't always come across when you only have one thing to go off of. I like being able to speak because people get a different impression of you based on how you sound. But even then, if I were to show you my face and how I emote to you, it would still give you yet another different impression of how I am and how I think, because maybe my facial characteristics are too stiff, maybe I have trouble making eye contact, that kind of thing, but my voice, perfectly normal, perfectly persuasive, conversational, no problem. Ah! I'm gonna spill over my iced tea. We're okay, though. I'm on Black Cadillacs. There's a couple songs in this album, and my last initial playthrough, I was like, eh, they're not that great. But, like, I'm listening to them again, I'm like, yeah, actually. It's so funny how that happens. I think sometimes you just need to watch something or look at something a couple times. Because, you know, you learn to appreciate things. It's interesting, me and my friend, we have been doing this thing lately. And if you have a music-loving friend or whatever, I recommend you do this because it's actually really fun. We pick an album that we like, and we sit down together, and we open up like Lyrics Genius or whatever. And we listen to the whole album from one, to the very end, and we look up the lyrics and, read them because sometimes, audio processing issues, I have trouble really realizing, what the lyrics are, what the songs are saying. I'm just listening to how the song sounds. Um, so it helps me, I think, get another dimension of appreciation. It helps me remember those times when I connected more strongly to albums because I was sitting and reading along to the liners notes that had all the lyrics for all the songs included with your CD. You would open it up and look at a book. Oh god, I'm explaining this. Do people get CDs still? I guess some of you must. Probably not a lot of you, though. Probably just the ones that were, like, given CDs by your parents who are probably Gen Xers. Oh god. Time. I'm probably just going over a lot of the same details now. I don't know if that's terribly interesting. Sometimes with a drawing, you just gotta chip away at it. I probably might take this into a digital program or some shit and color afterwards. And get rid of some of these lines I created initially and make them more like transparent so you can see the tears more fully dripping down. I don't have a lot of foreplanning as an artist, as you can see by my hasty additions here at the very end. But I don't really care. One has to learn how to work within their limitations in order to achieve a desired effect. That's pretty good. I wanted to make a, this is also going to look different once I scan it and shit too because of how everything is at an angle and I'm drawing from an angle, so it's all going to be warped slightly off as opposed to how it looks from, because, the proportions are different depending on how you look at it. So I'll have to work that. But mostly to me right now it looks pretty good from various angles. Do you like my bowl? I tried to reference that bowl. It's harder to find a bowl in the profile than you'd think, or specifically I was looking up aurochs. I guess they aren't alive anymore though. So, I've been watching a lot of pathologic Let's Plays and playing a lot of Let's Plays and playing a lot of... You know what they call it when you play your own Let's Play? They call it playing the game, Clam. But, yeah, but... thought my dog was sniffing me to tell me to take her outside. But, my pillow just fell. That's all it was. Sometimes she just, like, reaches up and pokes my rump with her little snoot. The Good Times Are Killing Me is, like, my favorite song on this album. Safe. Why onions? Someone might ask. No particular reason. It's not like a Shrek thing, I swear to God. I just think they're cute. I've wondered if finding like vegetable cute is strange, but people find plants cute. One of the wonderful things about human brain weirdness, I guess. You can fucking anthropomorphize a goddamn anything. Trying to get some interesting lettering here. Dynamic. I want it to be like sniff, 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 sniff. I'm always a little self-conscious about lettering and stuff, but because my actual like handwriting blows. I suck at it. People make fun of me all the time. They're like, "How the fuck can you be an artist and have shitty handwriting?" But when I'm just writing, I'm just very quickly trying to get the barest symbols that you can find legible and then like come back to it and read. I'm not trying to like make something pleasant for somebody to look at. I don't fucking give a fuck. I just want it to be legible. So it makes me a bit careless. I also additionally have some weird fucking problem where I seem to alternate between two different styles of letter. I'll explain what I'm talking about in a second, but I would flip to it, but I think I have porn in the sketchbook and a few pages in. I'm not really sure, and if I'm gonna put it on YouTube, I don't I'm that kind of bullshit. It's art, but whatever. Platforms suck. Sniff, sniff. Sniff. Bing. Alright, next song is a song called Morning After, I think, by Ariel Pink. No. Is it? Fuck, I don't know if this is the official. Whatever, it's called Morning After, and it's from, I think, the look, I first listened to it on Russian Doll. But the actual song on YouTube has like something different as the album cover. It says Tears on Fire, Marion Rosenberg, and I have no idea if it's the same fucking song or not, or if somebody's just like, you know, randomly. But then there's like on tour information. I don't fucking know. Anyway. I mean, I know you can't hear it, but they're good songs. Look them up. Crack my damn lead. Sniff, sniff. Sorry, I can't help but like onomatopoeia a little bit when I'm doing text. It's like how some people will make faces when they're drawing certain exaggerated features, whether or not they're even like referencing themselves. I can't help but sympathy read my little text. Snip, snip, snip. It's admittedly a little bit tedious, but because it's not just like straight up writing it, it's actually more fun because it's almost like I'm drawing in a little pattern. Some people find this kind of detailing tedious, like inking and stuff. They hate it because it's like, wow, I want my drawing to be done. For me, that is actually one of the most fun parts. Weirdly, considering how fucking ADHD I am. But feel good to turn things black and add contrast. It satisfies my monkey brain. And I'm very into that. So, you know, it's my preferred method of scratching the draw itch. This is such a vampire song. It's all about, like, blood and worship and shit. I was trapped in a thrall, the blood bond. No. I think I'm more, instead of, like, I don't want to do this too much, I don't think. I would rather change this altogether, like the orientation, rather than the, I don't know what the word would be, I'm not a letterist. So instead of going vertical, I would rather just turn the page to the side. You'll see. You'll see once I start inking it. You're not gonna see shit until fucking... This camera can't fucking see shit. Ah, no! Ah, no! Oh, no! Why are you stuck? Why are you stuck? Why did you rip? No! Did you get glued? Were you stuck? Ah, fuck. I guess it wasn't a great page, but I don't like ripping out pages out of my sketchbook out of principle. There we go. Sorry. But, I don't like ripping pages out of my sketchbook out of principle. I guess I'm gonna stop this around the hour mark, because I don't want it to be like a billion years long. Because it's probably gonna take me like another hour to fill this up. But actually, I think I'm gonna more loosely do it, and then I'm gonna do it properly. I think take a second pass at it and just kind of like try to quickly sketch out how I want these letters to flow. Sniff, sniff. I was careful because I can't make too many big letters. And I'm also trying to decide if I want to have exclamation points and ellipses in here as well. I think I have too many. I just want to have it like this bubble here. Granted, it's not all going to make it into the probably icon I use online, but for the full piece that I post, I want it to look like whatever. But away, got a big day, sorry I couldn't stay. Harry Nilsson's Gotta Get Up is such a fucking good song. And Russian Doll. Whoever fucking did the music for that. I'm not gonna look it up because I don't feel like it, but it did real fucking good. Because the discography is excellent. I don't think there's a single song I don't like from that show. It's just like, thank you for introducing me to somebody good. I don't listen to the radio because I don't have a car. So I just kind of pick up new Harry Nilsson is somebody my dad even recognized. So fucking new to me. I just learn them kind of via osmosis. Other people show me shit, or I just learn about new people and new shows I watch, movies, that kind of shit. I listen to a lot of instrumental music as a result, because a lot of time I'll just like a particular arrangement. I'm also a huge weeb, so, you know. Well, not a weeb, not really. I just like anime. I like cartoons and comics, and it doesn't really matter to me where they come from if they're good. And, of course, when I was a youngin', I was a huge weeb, and I was like, fuck yeah. Naruto. I guess I'm still kind of like fucking Naruto a little bit. It's interesting to revisit certain things that I haven't thought about in a really long time and finding, like, yeah, I'm probably not going to get back into this 300-page series, but it is fun to kind of remember that there were genuinely good things about that series that I was very invested in early on, before there was like a big, you know, gap in the comic and like the television show or whatever the fuck. I think it's looking pretty good. Pathologic. How many times have I listened to the song from 2? That is just darkness. I listened to it over and over and over again lately. If you're prone to melancholy, maybe don't. But actually, if you're prone to melancholy, don't fucking follow me. I'm not gonna help. But if you like that kind of thing, Pathologic, very, very good. And I was very, very happy to see that 2 got as much attention as it did. It makes me happy, because they're good games that are very dense and intriguing intellectually. And I think they're worth experiencing, whether or not they're the kind of game you like to play, or if it's the kind of thing that you want to check out in a Let's Play. I don't always have patience and the wherewithal. I don't always have the emotional fortitude required to stick with my decisions in games. I get real stressed out, but I'm trying to get past that lately. I've been playing Pathologic in my free time. I just kind of get... I mostly, I don't want to, like, dump, like, 500 hours into, like, my own trial and error sessions with the games, so I do, in a sense, look up a vague idea of what I'm supposed to do, because these games are weird in Russian, and I'm not very smart when it comes to figuring out certain things. So mostly I'm just looking for, like, tips and advice, and, like, okay, go here, and if you're lost, think about going here, that kind of stuff, but, like, figure it out on my own. Study how to play game good, is more or less my opinion on that kind of stuff. But I'm very prone to starting over games, because I always like the idea of that starting fresh feeling. It's a bit compulsive, and I think it's mostly rooted in anxiety, but the very nature of a game like Pathologic requires that you shed that and let go of perfectionistic impulses, because this game is very hard, And if you don't do that, especially because what the game is trying to say, and I think meeting the game on its own level is kind of essential to really being able to appreciate it as a piece of art. You know, jerk off motion. But I'm trying to accept it on its own playing field. Mm-hmm. You'll see when I started inking, though, that I've done one of those things in my lettering that I was just talking about, switching between two different styles, which is like the lowercase n, which is soft and round, and the capital N, which is versus I was unconsciously because I do that a lot. I think probably because as a kid I was taught those two different versions by two different teachers. Like, I learned how to do one from like a first grade teacher, and then the second grade teacher, when improving my handwriting, was like, no, you have to make it look like this. And I also think that a certain degree of like how people would write capital letters, lowercase letters, they're kind of superfluous. Like, if you write in all lowercase letters, people know what the fuck you're saying. If people write in all capitals, you know what the fuck they're saying, but tonally it does something different. But if you lived in a society, like with the Romans, who didn't have uppercase, lowercase letters, they just had one kind of letters, that doesn't really exist. They have to add things more like colors and underlines and that kind of stuff for emphasis. Because they didn't have the same kind of exclamation points and stuff that we do. Um, so really, I guess it doesn't matter that much. It's just one of those internal consistency things that kind of drives me nuts, and it's like, I don't want to be inconsistent, because I guess people see inconsistency inherently as a sign of poor artistry, I guess. Like, you should have your craft down to be more consistent, but what does it fucking matter if it does the same thing ultimately and it doesn't change anything? But I guess it does, though. It changes how it feels and how it looks. I just don't always understand it, and sometimes I just don't want to be bothered to fix something. Which, fine. I sweat it. For my purposes, it's right. I don't need that kind of engineering tight precision with what I'm making. In fact, in many ways, the way I like to uh, show off my own art. Oh, fuck yeah. I just realized I've been listening to the Mild High Club Skip Tracing album. Fucking, if you have not checked these guys out, look them up. They have a Bandcamp or whatever. Their fucking shit is smooth as hell. It's like fucking every single one is a true jam. And it's like, if I could condense myself into literal music in how I would wish to present myself, I think maybe this would be it. It's got the right amount of vibe, groove, sadness, happiness, upbeat, downbeat, that kind of shit. It's my shit, is what I'm saying. I really want to wait up, but I'm not going to do it on camera. Oh, I can pause. There's going to be a jump cut. or will there, because I'm already so all over the place. Alright. I did not realize I could just pause the fucking recording. I really wish I knew that sooner. But, live and learn. I think this is ready to basically ink. But also, I'm gonna pause again. Not that you'll notice, because I gotta pee. Okay. I peed. So, how convenient I placed a letter directly over this little scratchy I made by accident testing, you my strokes with my pen. Sorry for randomly trailing off all the time. As far as you know, I'm just like that. And it has nothing to do with any kind of drug. You know, I guess it's not really a big deal if, no idea if that's going to be audible. I don't want to be too loud and make it difficult or annoying when I just took out my earbuds. I'm going to put this on YouTube because I don't have anywhere else I can put it. I don't want to monetize my video, but I don't want to get like a copyright strike just because I'm listening to like my fucking playlist or whatever while I'm working. But I also kind of need to hear it because I think it adds to the vibe, and it's definitely more interesting than just, I think, listening to me. It helps with that whole illusion that you're here with me. I'm trying to get more in peace with the fact that I probably have said that like 500 times so far tonight, but I'm trying to get more comfortable with the fact that when you work traditionally, and I worked primarily traditionally because it's easy. I particularly like these because I know somebody will inevitably ask. It is a let's see, Kurtaki brand Zig Cartoonist Mangaka flexible fine tip brush pen. They're kind of stiff. They aren't super flexible and that kind of thing. Like a lot of like flexible brush pens are like using an actual brush, but I like them because of that. They're very stiff and it's easy to get like these sharp lines with them that are very slick. Personally, what I would prefer. Feels good, easy. Don't gotta think about it. Don't gotta fuss with water. Don't gotta fuss with cleaning anything. Works for me. They're cheap too. I get them from Jet Pens. I think they're great. This is just a typical basic Strathmore sketchbook. It's just kind of been my standard since I was a teen. They're not terrible. They're not great. They're just in between. It's fine-tooth surface, acid-free, primarily for dry media. You can use a little bit of wet stuff, but mostly I prefer using dry media to begin with, so it's not a big deal. I personally find the entire what paper to use thing to be kind of mystifying to me because I'm I'm slow on the uptake about certain things. Like, what does acid-free mean? Nobody ever explains, like, what the difference between acid and acid-free paper is. It's just that, if it's acid, it'll turn yellow over time. Like, you know how, like, some really old books are, like, really yellowy, like paperbacks? Because they're not acid-free paper. And if it's acid-free, it won't get yellow over time. If you like when things get yellow, it doesn't really matter. But I guess it also gets more brittle, more crisp, whereas acid-free paper tends to stay a little bit, like, you don't have to worry about, like, when you dog-ear a page on a paperback novel that's really old, and then it just, like, stays there. It's almost like it stays a little bit accepting of some degree of hydrosity, if that's a fucking word. Well, I don't know why I just did that to my stupid self. I shouldn't have dog-eared that page there to make my point, but that's okay because the border of this image is right here anyway, so it'll get flat again if I leave it like that. But just so it doesn't annoy me. By the way, I am the ultimate book bastard. Don't lend me a book, because I do dog-ear pages. I never, ever, ever remember to have bookmarks. I always lose them. I guess I could just get a piece of paper, but the bookmarks are so cute, and people put so much fucking effort into making, like, nice ones. Like, I love, like, it's around here somewhere. Like, I have it in a container somewhere so I never lose it, because I love it so much. In, like, my little basket over there, there's, like, a bookmark that is, like, an antique one, and it's, like, a small metal bronze one that has, like, roses etched on it, and it's really cute, and I love it, and it's tiny, and I will lose it one day, and I will never find it again. When you have ADHD, you just have to learn to accept that things are going to get lost, and, like, you're not gonna find them until the fucking dryer gnome has decided it's done with your sock, and you move something, and there it is. Because no matter how hard you look for something sometimes, you will just be fucking unable to. And you just gotta accept that you're gonna lose small stuff. You're gonna lose those USBs. You're never gonna be able to keep this, that. You're gonna break shit all the fucking time. God damn it. I gotta say, I do love how crisp it looks when it's lower resolution. Like, when I, this is probably a thought I trailed off from earlier, but when you draw traditionally, things are just going to inevitably not be perfectly 100% straight when you get eye level of it, which is the level that you're working. But, or at least not very easily, you know? But once you transfer something to the internet at a lower resolution when something is smaller, or, you know, you lose some pixels, it kind of smooths, it anti-aliases itself properly, because what you're getting primarily is the sharp contrast between black and white. And then it kind of fuzzes itself out, because that's just how images are converted onto computers. But I think that's one reason why traditional art looks fucking on Instagram. Because, god damn, it's look great over there. Before you even ask, I've just thought about putting it on Instagram, and I decided it was too much trouble. So I'm gonna go with my gut feeling of not wanting to be asked and keep it up all the time. I'm just gonna fucking go with it. And not bother probably for the moment. Or if I do, I'm just gonna. Am I mumbling too much? I'll put it up if I want to, but I don't want to right this second. I'm hungry. I've been neglecting to do the dishes because I'm freaking depressed lately. 2020, am I right? It's really fun to look from where I'm working to this screen. It's like, how am I doing? It is almost the real life equivalent of when you're working in a digital program and you occasionally look at the small version to see how it's translating. If you don't do that, by the way, do, because it'll give you a better idea of how well you're contrasting stuff. Like, ideally, you want an image to look as crisp and easy to read, if you work on my kind of style at least. It's just, I guess, a good illustration tip. You want it to look as good when it's smalled as when it's, like, the full image you opened it up. It just, looks good. If you can help it. I mean, there's some things that are, by their very nature, require you just look at it big. But if you are the type of art that, I guess I make, where it's kind of meant to be, I guess, not looked at too hard. It's easily consumed and you move on from it. There's not a ton to it visually. It just hits you like a punch, I guess. It's like pop art, I guess. Naive, simplistic, cartoonish. Not that that doesn't make it, like, obviously worth looking at. I've already said something stupid. Because, like, of course, if you like this kind of thing, like, you can analyze it to death and get real and deep and, like, be like, oh yeah, I love the fucking inks. Oh, fuck yeah. The lettering. Fuck yeah. Which is obviously, like, something I'm into. Because, comics art, indie art, I love that shit. And, delicious. I like rawness and I guess a more uh, smaller point of view. Something that isn't made to be perfectly polished and given to everybody. I like things that are imperfect and asymmetrical. More like things that are divisible by 3 than by 2. Is a weird way I guess I could put it. If I started eating cashews or some shit, would that be really obnoxious? No, this is too discordant. I gotta move on to the next song. This one on the Skip Tracing album is called Chasing My Tail. Dig that one. I just want to look up the name of it real quick. But, would it be really obnoxious to say cashews? I'm sure that's really crunchy. I'll just fucking label this video ASMR some bullshit. I do not have a good mic. I cannot. There's no way I could have a good recording setup. I don't think I have an ASMR voice. I feel weird whispering to people. Although I love ASMR, like, a lot. And I very much appreciate people to find ASMR, oh my god, ASM artists that bring me the nice, stimulating sounds that just make me fall asleep. It's really nice. And it helps me calm down from being anxious and that kind of shit. It is almost the audio version of having somebody scratch, like, your scalp and be like, pat, pat, they're there. It's just nice. That being said, there's a shit ton of parasocial bullshit in ASMR. And it's very interesting once you begin to look up parasocial relationships, which was something that came up today on Twitter. And I was like, yeah, man, I think about that shit a lot, because I like psychology. So smooth. Although the song is also very sad. Chasing the person I seen. I kind of declared this in one of my OCs I play in a tabletop game in Nexie. She is in a Werewolf the Apocalypse game that my very wonderful friend Alex runs. And it takes place, like, there's a lot of, we changed a lot in the actual game. The actual game sucks, don't play it. But, we mold it for a purpose, because there is actually a very interesting through line about the nature of, like, war and just certain vibes that hit very hard in this tabletop game, but it's also very stupid because it's White Wolf, and White Wolf writes terrible, stupid, edgy nonsense and doesn't look up stuff and just kind of, like, makes very dumb decisions. But also, there's a lot of interesting fluff when it comes to the game. It's simultaneously, don't do it, it's terrible, but there's some cool stuff about it. The meta is interesting. But we change a lot. And I have a friend that is, like, a historian and is super smart and does a lot of research and has access to, like, university database. Like, super smart. They're reception theorists. That's the term. I'm so sorry, Alex. You're so much smarter. I am a farmer, and you are explaining rocket science to me. But, I can't always keep the exact terms, but I highly respect what you do, obviously. And, you know, we explore, particularly about 130 AD, when, Rome was invading Britannia and, like, you know, colonizing and all that bullshit. And there's a lot of themes about colonialism and, war, imperialism, just, like, the nature of stories and being a hero and, like, recurring, like, tragedy and pain and the struggle against those things, even if they're ultimately futile, all that kind of bullshit. It's very emotionally fulfilling, and I think it's wonderful. And as much as I wish I could share it with the world sometimes, I also think that not everybody would get out of it what me and my friends get out of it, and maybe there's no point in really trying to translate that, because it's just like, how could we? But it's wonderful, and I've learned a lot of stuff that I never would have known. I met a lot of wonderful people I never would have met And my group is wonderful. They're all very dear friends of mine now. We've all been gaming together for like 3 years or so. And they're all wonderful people. And I met them almost totally by chance, by accident. Isn't that how it goes? It's funny. Some of the closest people I've ever gotten friends with, I've gotten very lucky. I've met through being invited to interesting tabletop games. Uh, I had a friend that was just like, hey, you want to be in our Pathfinder game? And, you know, now all these years later, we're still really tight. We've helped each other through some really hard times. And, you know, these people help me actively get into a much better place. Which is why I'm even here doing this right now. And pretty much same thing with my werewolf game. I got very, very lucky and I met a lot of really insightful, intelligent, very wonderful people that play wonderful, fascinating characters. And are a delight to talk to on a regular basis. I talk to them every day. Even though we're all over the place. We got people in Australia, we got people East Coast, West Coast. And it's not a big group either, we're only about 6 people. They're all great and they all have very interesting professions and backgrounds like I don't have at all. Which I'm not going to describe in detail because on the off chance anybody ever listens to this shit and has a weird beef with me because of how I am, I don't want to give you any kind of clues as to who my friends are or where they live or where I live. Beyond the vague, I was in Pennsylvania for a while. And fuck you. Which is also why I'm not going to put my face on here. I'm willing to risk the voice thing. I sound different recorded than I do in person anyway. At least a little. Without my, you know, too much of my gestures and my gesticulations and facial expressions and shit. Come off a little bit different. Granted, I probably would be recognizable if somebody was committed or had like a really clear... Okay, I'm getting a little bit paranoid. But, not really. I mean, I guess if somebody wants to find me, they're just gonna find me, right? Don't, though. Please. Fuck off. I don't care. And I don't know you. Not that we can't have a fun vibe together, my friend. Well, not actual friend. My friendly acquaintance. Not even a friendly acquaintance. I don't know who you are. Yeah, this is turning out pretty nice. I haven't drawn, like, in 3 weeks because I've been super fucking depressed. I'm just gonna admit that. But, not that I haven't been super candid from the start of this video, which is, like, almost 2 hours now. And will be unedited because I don't want to. And I don't know how. I don't have any programs. I don't want to learn. Don't tell me. I'm just gonna do this. Until I have an interest in actually moving beyond that. What you doing? Maybe later. So much of the music to Bloodborne is so freaking gorgeous. What a fascinating game that is. And it's more my vibe than Dark Souls. I just never got the hang of Dark Souls. I'm not really good at Bloodborne either. I'm pretty terrible at games that require me to use my brain to fight tactically, if I'm being honest. It takes me a long time to learn anything, and I tend to get frustrated and lose interest. And not play for a while, and forget, and then I have to start over. But what I have played and managed to get past in Bloodborne, I like. I like quite a lot. And I would love to actually have like watching Let's Plays is fun and all, but if I was actually alongside someone and we could stop and look at a game together, whatever, somebody better at games than I am, manage to play through it, I would enjoy that very much. Because it's just not personally, some games I just don't have patience for. It's not my PS4 anyway, so I can't really, no, don't have it with my TV. Does Bloodborne come in the Switch? I'm not gonna buy a game again on principle, because you know, had a roommate, we shared a PS4, decided to leave the PS4 with her when I have the game. I don't want to buy another system, but I don't have it with me currently. Looks kind of like an onion Mizar. Love me a good choir singing Latin. Yeah. Itchy nose. New song. Watsky, welcome to the family.
Hello, 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 hello. It's a motherfucking pleasure. No pressure. Or would you like to blow my mind and move too fast and plan our perfect lives together? Holly, 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 holly. You need to tell me, tell me, tell. You're tough to love when you don't love yourself. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the family. My life's exciting features. They're packed inside my body. They're crammed into the balcony. They're jamming up the lobby. Falling out the window, you can see them crashing through the glass. But I don't keep our lids closed. Cause the director flips his wrist. The stage hand in the wind. He's got a silver chain he grips. And when he lifts it, opens up the velvet curtains on my lips. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the family. When you look at the vision of stars, when you look at the city in the house, when you have to get you out, you can even believe in myself. Look at the sun in the summertime. I make you up a butterfly. I really want to sound like a lullaby. Think every time I look is a butterfly. I know pretty go far, pretty close, up close. Don't pity the Mars mostly. Like hideous, and I'm sitting at the bar with a beer, so cheers, my toast. Getting Too many were carrying the weight together with misery and back pain. If you wait to believe we can get out of the city, get a minute in the fast lane. Can't hasten and travel in Vegas. If you can't rich, life is a craps game. And I take my cue from you on what you wanna do, not imagine it. It's not so bad if you don't want to. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the family. Those fires in the attic that rage without permission. Some days invade your living room or break out in the kitchen. Always right through the building, nature show up as they please and then retreat like grown-up children. But how'd you like to split this? Then tell me what you've witnessed. If the price of life is hell, well, no one ever had to sell me on how nice a fire smells. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the family. And there's so much I've been silent on, but I whisper every secret to you when this mic is gone. And I know you listen, and I know it's different, but it gives me peace on missing pieces. Could be siblings, the off lights, and leaving. So why the hell should we? And I say, welcome to the family, welcome to the family, welcome to the family. We deserve love, we deserve love, we deserve love. We deserve love. We deserve love. We deserve love. We deserve love.
Cat Groove. I don't know what the song is, if it's from, like, Techno Swing, whatever the fuck it's called, group. But I just have the one that has the Animal Crossing characters dancing, because I think it's cute. And I have no idea if it's an original composition or not. I don't think it is. Scroll down. Music is Cat Groove by Parov Stellar. Alright, so he just made a cute video. Or they, or whatever. Shouldn't make no sense. Parodying. No idea what your pronouns or gender is. Pronoun. Very much like Dan Deacon when I was then dying. The animation and the song. Some of the independent animation shit that Adult Swim sometimes seems to commission or highlight or whatever. It's fucking sick. I'm actually like goblining out here. I'm getting real close. Been very existential lately. This one can't help but be. Let's do this. I wonder what it's gonna be like later if we all live through this. When the kids grow up and society solidifies again. When it's gonna happen again. Where? How? People say never again, but it's not true. People are cyclical. And there is no upward trend of civilization, in my opinion. That doesn't mean, of course, things don't get better, things don't change, we don't learn things. Of course we do. People build on what came before. That being said, sometimes shit happens, and the tower gets smacked down. Just because it hasn't happened yet, because we've never been this high before, doesn't mean that nothing will happen. Which is very dire, I'm sure, but I think one needs to occasionally acknowledge that situation so that one can deal with it and make sure that that doesn't happen. Which is why we should take climate change seriously. I'm done. I probably fit one more in there, but I don't know. I think it's good. I don't know where my eraser is. I think it got covered with something sticky because I spilled Kool-Aid or something on it, and I lost track of it because I haven't wanted to touch it. Why didn't you clean the eraser? I don't know. That would require having a fucking brain, but I think I... oh no, I shouldn't even admit that. I think I might have licked it and been like, gross. Was this recent? Lick, lick. There wasn't like ants on it or anything. It was just like, I wasn't sure what it was. And I was like, because I guess I'm just an animal when you get right into it. But, I'm not sure where it's gone. I might have just found it, thrown it out. Well, it's probably on the floor somewhere. So, I can't erase some of my legs here. I have an eraser in here. Ooh, I have a pink one. The one I was thinking of was a black one. It came black. It didn't get gross because I like it sticky and like it. I think this is a really old one. It's like a pink pearl eraser. But it's like so old, it's got like a different texture now. It's all crumbly. It's in that phase of its life where it's dying because it's so old. Our geriatric eraser. Well, it's a pretty good eraser. I never really had a lot of access to like nice stuff most of my life. I don't really get fancy erasers. I like go to Walmart and fucking get what's cheap. That's me. I don't even go into like the section where all the crafts and shit are. I find like a needable one. I just go to the fucking stationery section because a lot of the time I just like the stationery stuff better anyway. But I think that just comes from being the sort of person that doodled in their like notebook my whole life, which is probably why I like this kind of grungy aesthetic to begin with. Ugh, I'm hungry. I'm gonna eat a whole bunch of cashews in a second. Much like the humble foraging animals, I subsist mostly on nuts. At least at the moment. Until I get food stamps. 'Cause I'm poor. And I don't make enough money to feed myself, which is to say, really any money. Yay. Once you erase, you gotta like very quickly go over those bits that got picked up by the eraser. I have nicer paper, but I don't really have like much of a workspace. I have a pretty cramped, like L-shaped desk, and I just kind of like plop my sketchbook down, and that's it. I don't really like, it's like big paper, and I don't have space to lay it out really properly, and if it takes multiple steps, it tends not to happen. I don't want to erase over much in these areas, despite, you know, you'll probably pick up some of these that I want to lessen anyway, because it'll also pick up the paper, and once you hit a certain level of erasitude, you just can't keep erasing. It's just gonna wear a hole, and it's, when you have the hole there, you can't refill it, and it's very obvious because you have like a divot, so you just gotta accept your mistakes with traditional art. Anyway, I inked an onion, and I had a lot of fun. So maybe I'll come back and do this again sometime. I have no idea if I'm speaking loud enough to be picked up. I'll probably watch this. Anyway, peace or whatever.